I just want to say that I'm sorry.
What?
I'm trying to say I'm...
What?
I'm just trying to say I'm...
Alright boys and girls, hope you're having a lovely day, okay? Today guys, I want to talk about the Silent Hill 2 remake, okay? This game has just come out, okay? It's been out for, well, for me at least, it's been out for a day, and I've had a very, very brief play of this game, guys. Literally, I've played 1 single hour, not played it long at all, but I want to give you guys my first impressions. Now, before we get into that, guys, I kind of want to talk about my skepticism of this game, okay? And the fact that I really wasn't thinking that this was going to be all that good of a remake. I was very worried that this was going to be a big flop. I made a video not too long after actually starting this channel talking about sort of my worries about this game and how I didn't think that they were really going to be able to make a remake that lives up to the potential of the original. Now, the original is one of my favorite games of all time. I feel like I've said it a million times on the channel, but yeah, it's quite literally my favorite PS2 game of all time and probably my second favorite game of all time. It's just such an absolute masterpiece, such a memorable experience with that game. So it's always going to be hard to live up to that with a remake. When you've got a game that is just so incredibly high on your list of all games, okay, when you're remaking a game like that, then obviously anything that they do is always going to sort of fall short, like if you've got such high expectations. Now, obviously, my expectations were pretty low, so I suppose in a way it wasn't hard to beat those expectations, but from what I've played of this game so far, guys, they have just blown everything away. Like, they have absolutely nailed it so far. Like, honestly, it's such a great remake. Again, so far, I've only got about an hour into it, but I can already tell from the experience I've had, wow, okay, what a freaking game. I'm not usually into remakes, okay? I'm really not a fan of the way that modern gaming is these days, where it's just constant remasters and remakes just 24/7. They don't seem to do anything original anymore. I think they just recently did an Until Dawn remaster. Like, there's nothing wrong with the PS4 version of that game. It runs on modern hardware. If you have a PS4 copy of Until Dawn, you can play that sucker on a PS5. It looks great. I played it like a year ago. It honestly, just did not need the remaster at all, but we live in that age where everything needs a remaster and a remake because money. Like, that's what it comes down to. It's cheap to do and you get instant money because people will buy it. Despite people complaining, a lot of people buy remasters. I don't know why, but they do.
Sir, here is a check with my name on it. Write down any number on this piece of paper and I will pay it.
I think they're doing like a Horizon Zero Dawn remake. Like, what is the fucking point of that? Alright, Horizon Zero Dawn, it looks amazing. It doesn't need a remake. It's so stupid. They'll justify it by saying that it's got all these accessibility options and it's got this, it's got that, but it just doesn't need a remake, plain and simple. It's so silly. Now, that's not to say that every remake is bad, alright? Of course, some remakes are very much needed, okay? You know, like a good example of a good remake would be Resident Evil 2 remake, okay? The original, I love the original, but the remake of it is fantastic and it's a completely different experience to the original. I've played the original not even that long ago, a few months ago, loved it, I absolutely adored it, but I still love the remake. I love both of them. To me, that's what makes a fantastic remake. If you can go back, play the original and love it for what it was and what it does, and then you can play like the remake and it's different and it does things differently, you know, but it's obviously got similarities, that to me is a great remake. Those are my favorite types of remakes. Resident Evil 4 is a good example of that. Like, I love the remake, of course, but you can still go back, play the original. It's just a different experience, okay? Those are the remakes I love. The ones that sort of take the original and basically just make them obsolete. There's no point going back to them. They're just, you know, new improved versions of it. I don't like those kinds of remakes, and I really don't like the lazy types. The Last of Us, for example, right? No changes to gameplay, no changes to the story, which, I mean, I wouldn't want them to anyway, but basically zero changes other than just visuals, so a pointless remake to me. Anyway, we're going through a long tangent of remakes and stuff. The point is, I'm always skeptical of a remake, okay? I'm just not a big fan of them in general. However, I do make exceptions when, you know, it's a game like Silent Hill 2, because again, it's one of my favorite games of all time. Of course, I'm going to check this out and see if it's good or not, and like I said, so far, guys, so good. I absolutely love what I've played so far. Yeah, this is the type of remake I really love, guys. I really want more of these types of remakes. If we're going to keep getting them, this is how I want them done, okay? Because this game is very different to Silent Hill 2, the original. Like, they feel like very different games with obviously core similarities, but the experience so far is entirely different to the original. The original has this very uncanny and just unnerving feel as you play it. I just felt so uncomfortable playing Silent Hill 2. All of the cutscenes, all of those FMV visuals just got under my skin. I just did not like playing Silent Hill 2 because of how just eerie it all felt. The dialogue in Silent Hill 2 just feels so dreamlike. It doesn't feel like you got two characters talking with one another. It feels like you got two people just saying words sometimes, and again it just got that really dreamlike, unnatural feel to it. But again, that makes it such a horrifying experience, whereas in this one, completely different. The very first cutscene in this game is of course with Angela and James, and the dialogue is so different in this game to how it is in the original version. Okay, they actually talk like human beings in this game, so it's different. Okay, I personally do prefer that dreamlike, you know, dialogue of the original, but at least it's doing something different. It's not just rehashing it and doing the same thing, and it worked equally well. Okay, I found the dialogue really intriguing, and what I found most intriguing actually was the fact that James felt like a normal person in this dialogue. In the original, you know something's not quite right with James. He's definitely got a few screws loose, okay, but in this, honestly, I couldn't really quite tell at first. I was thinking, you know what, he just seems like a normal guy that really wants to find his wife. So yeah, I really liked this dialogue exchange. It was a brief discussion, but I just liked it. It was different.
This town, there's something wrong with it. And it's not just the fog either.
Is it dangerous?
Maybe. It's kind of hard to explain, but
I'll be careful.
I'm not lying.
No, I believe you. It's just...
Now, I will say a little bit later on, there is a couple of things that definitely made me feel like James is not a normal human being, despite that first impression of me thinking he was normal. Okay, my very first encounter with a monster in this game, which is different to the original. In the original, there's like a tunnel, and you hear the radio, and you obviously see the straitjacket dude, you kill him, and then you get the radio. In this, the tunnel still exists, but there's no monsters down there. You actually encounter the first monster in the town. You're in like a back garden, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, sorry, you go through a back garden, and then you go through to, like, a house, and then there it is. Okay, there's the monster. Now, what made me feel like James is not a normal human being is that after killing the monster, he goes, oh, though that definitely, whatever that was, it wasn't human. That's not a normal reaction to seeing a monster, right? You would be like, what the fuck have I just seen? You'd be shitting your bricks, but no, James is just like, well, he wasn't human. Anyway, you know, and he's back to business.
Is this what I saw in the fog? Whatever it is, it's not human.
You don't say!
So yeah, there's definitely a few screws loose with Remake James, but maybe it's not quite as evident as it was in that original. Another clue as well as to James's sort of insanity, and this might be clutching at straws a little bit, but throughout the game you'll find syringes and you can use these to heal. So you'll literally just pick up syringes randomly and inject yourself with them. That's not the behavior of somebody that's sane, okay? No sane person is injecting themselves with random syringes in a shady town like Silent Hill. That's not normal. I have to say as well, guys, this game blew me away visually. I could not believe how good this game all looks, okay? The fog in this game, it looks amazing. It's so good. The very beginning of the game when you're next to the car and you're outside of the bathroom and you're just peering over the edge, it really took me back. I was like, wow, this game looks so good. And the monsters as well look really good as well. The character models look good. The facial animations are all very solid, okay? The whole experience so far looks amazing. That's one of the best things about it. I have to say as well, guys, sound design here is 10 out of 10, okay? I loved how good this game sounded, okay? I had my earphones in, both of them in, I was locked in, I had the lights off, okay? I was ready for the experience, and I was getting a bit creeped out, of course, but yeah, just the sounds in this game are phenomenal. That little stroll down through the woods, of course, which is, you know, one of the best parts of the original, is that initial run through the woods. I loved that. But yeah, in this game, you're hearing the squelching of mud as you're running through it, you're hearing you crackling in the woods, and there's like a monster as well you hear. Really awesome sound design.
It's spooky.
Yeah, like I said, guys, I haven't really played too much of this one, okay? I've only played the first hour. I just didn't have time to play more, unfortunately. I really want to sit down and play some, like, really badly, but of course, you know, I've got to do work, I've got to do things, and, you know, I'm busy, so I'm probably not going to be able to play this one at least for a few more days, which is honestly really sad. I just cannot wait to play more of this game. I'm so hyped to get back into this one. I can't wait to meet some more of the characters, okay? I want to see what Eddie is like in this game. I want to see what Maria is like in particular. I'm so hyped for that. Okay, those Maria encounters in the original are so uncanny and creepy, so I'm really excited for that. As well, I want to see more monsters, okay? I want to see the sexy nurses, I want to see the Pyramid Head. I'm really, like curious how they do the first encounter with Pyramid Head, because obviously in the first one, that's one of the most iconic moments of that game, is when you're running through the apartment blocks and you just see him glaring at you. Super duper creepy, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in this game. As well, I want to know if there's any changes to like the story and stuff. So far, it's very faithful to the original. It's pretty much the same thing. So yeah, the story-wise hasn't really changed too much, but again, it's early days. I can imagine them adding a few changes, and I wonder what they're going to do with the ending too, because obviously in the original, you've got different endings depending on how you play the game. I can't imagine they'll do that with this one, but they might do. They might do alternate endings. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how it plays out, guys. Super duper hyped. But yeah, so far so good with this one, guys. I'm really impressed with it. Bloober Team, or is it Bloober Team or Bloomer Team? Bloober Team, I think. They've blown me away with this, okay? They really have. I didn't think it was going to be all that good. The trailers, at least the first few trailers, didn't make this one look too good. But yeah, they've done it, boys. They've made a great game. I can already tell.
Can I tell you something? I love it.
But yeah, let me know in the comments, guys. Have you been playing Silent Hill 2 Remake? What are your thoughts on it so far? So far, I'm loving it myself. So yeah, really liking it. Other than that, though, boys and girls, subscribe here if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one, alright? Peace.